All right. If you're a business, you pay for value delivery. Something I tell myself as an architect that I can do this really cool thing, but how does it help the business I'm trying to help, right? They're paying for value delivery, either for customers, open source community, or the greater business ecosystem. No one is paying for I couldn't release something. So I have, from personal experience, actually released something into production off of someone's laptop, which is kind of fun when we're developing this feature, which is strange because in the credentialing space, so it's security related. That made it even worse. But there was a week and we were in pre-release and the developer went on vacation, and where was the code? It was on his laptop. Where's his laptop? At his house. Where was he? 8 time zones away, right? So, having a unpleasant deployment process is not something you can give your management or a VP saying, oh, we couldn't release in this window because our process is kind of messed up. Now, you want to pay for value delivery. You also want to maximize creative hours. You want to spend more time if you're a developer or if you're a program manager or a technical manager saying, I need to work on the user experience and improve features. Like anyone from Home Depot, I'm talking about you. So if you ever order an appliance at Home Depot to pick a delivery order and you're behind the guy, he's in the world's ugliest 2001 HTML app. HTML 1.0 app, clicking away, and I go, oh wait, my name's wrong. He goes back, all the settings are gone. So, and then we both go, oh. So, more time on creative hours, improving features, and then since you can't get VC funding without AI or ML in your title, so you have to do some block graph, IoT, ML cloud drone thing to get your Series A done, spend time on this. But not on why did my build break? Not on where did it go? So I had experience to where with homespun build tool, and you had to have multiple tabs to AWS and other things in the build tool. You do deploy in the build tool, you're like, wait a minute, where did I go to? Then 5 minutes later, oh yeah, it went to the wrong place. Ha! So that's not a good answer either. Now, what are hurdles that enterprises are facing? Getting started with containerized apps, moving to the cloud, and releasing all day, every day. We all know these are things we need to do. We keep hearing it at every conference, every tech crunch. Oh, you need to be in containers on Kubernetes. You need to be in the cloud. Which cloud? I don't know all the clouds. What cloud? All the things. And we need to release all day, every day because we were told to do that. It makes sense. It's perfect. It does work. But you have this time to bootstrap that app development experience. Should that be a hurdle for real or not for real? Maybe you have a continuous delivery skill that's not really all that spectacular. I referenced my previous example of where did something go in our fancy homespun, built on top of chef, Perl, Java, Bashery thing. Hence, existing yeah, I'm totally talking about myself. Existing automation, Rube Goldberg fragility. Do developers have cloud experience? Do they need to have that cloud experience? That's another hurdle people are asking themselves. Do they need, someone's a great I am not a great Java developer. I used to be one. So I'm gonna tell that lie, sorry. You have great development, great algorithms. You can really do some really fancy Monte Carlo discrete heap-based fancy stuff back when I was younger and could do that. But may not know much about a cloud or containers. So that leads us into, we have those hurdles there. Why Spinnaker? Now the first thing before I talk about why Spinnaker, I want to go into why continuous delivery a little bit. So I am one of those people who pay for the ACM digital library to go browse stories and whatnot, articles, whatnot. So out of these fins, they have a whole collection of work where they actually did case studies on how organizations have evolved into releasing every single day. And in their discussion, they have this phrase. And what I like about this phrase is the implication that, if you read the whole publication there, that in the beginning, in a lean post-agile software company, wait a minute, are they saying, did they just say that if you're approaching continuous delivery, you're approaching this lean, whoa, that's really interesting. And the title of it, and these slides will be available somewhere, so you click on a link, it'll take you to the paywall for a digital library. The title is Towards Post-Agile Development Practices Through Productized Development Infrastructure. So you're not building something just to get something done. They're suggesting if you treated your software delivery system with enough robustness as you want your production environment to be, they're implying, after watching, they detail this entire process that the organization went through, they're implying that you get the release every day. You don't care if it's containers, VMs, or whatever, because you have enough process maturity by accident. Now, inside a particular paper, they don't go into we had the goal of being a CMI level 5. No, it's like we want the release every day. So it's actually great works in this space. This was published in Roscoe in 2015. There's one in Extreme Programming a couple years ago, was based on a study, and they gave the timeline, in 2008, like the first and second year of Hudson. So that's how long some of these studies went into. So we know, based on this, that man, if I do this continuous delivery thing, I'm a lean agile, I'm post-agile. I'm not just agile, I'm post-agile. Well, that's what Spinnaker is a continuous delivery platform. Now today and tomorrow, you have all these wonderful deep dive spectacular talks, like there's one like manifest and orchestrated deployments, because I'm one of those YAML all the time type people. Today you get to talk about why I want to do this, so I'm walking through why, so now you have talking points, take it back home. We're now talking about Spinnaker, because the most important thing here, it is a continuous delivery platform. I apologize if I mumble a little bit, because I flew here from New York, but I'm from South Flyover country, so sometimes the accents blend, so I apologize, all right? I play East Coast elitist on television, I'm not a real one. But yeah, Spinnaker is multi-cloud, multi-region, which is what you want. A lot of customers, or previous customers I had, they had data centers everywhere. I was telling a Stan story yesterday about InfoSec people freaking out because all these .es email addresses showed up. And we're like, yeah, you have a store in Spain now. Well, it's a concrete slab, but you'll have a store in Spain now. But you have global organizations that need to reach customers globally. So you need this multi-region, multi-cloud. And then, in that example, they were in 3 cloud providers too. Because I just stumbled into 3 of them. I was like, oh, yeah. But you'll learn through the rest of the day a lot about Kubernetes. There's an AWS talk later in this summit. Key thing on this slide, continuously platform, we know that. Orchestration, and it has pipelines. The most important thing is the orchestration component. Yes, it has CI integration, but it is not a CI solution. Do not ask it to do Maven build for you. That's not what its purpose is about. It's about orchestrating things in your enterprise. Now, what's important for that is that if you think about it, for the orchestration of your enterprise, it's a software delivery control plane. So if I think of it as my software delivery control plane, if I provide or use the auth-in, auth-z for that, then I don't have to give every developer like a route across every IaaS. So how many have an organization where they have developers have like administrator star in like their AWS account, right? So you don't have to admit that. You wouldn't want to, and people read your name tag and see what company you are and hack you. But since I've been doing AWS since 2010, I've experienced that, where every developer has like full administrator access. If you treat Spinnaker as your software delivery control plane, you give the auth-in, auth-z there, and not everything in IaaS. So for example, if you're doing mostly containers on GKE and a project, and you're using code build, that developer needs maybe some database access, code build, stack driver, Spinnaker. And you can play around with that, maybe a little more than that. Because, look at this picture right here. In 10 seconds, I know that I have something behind a load balancer. There's 2 instances, 100% available. There's a container there, the container name I know has a pod with the Istio sidecar. I knew all that in 10 seconds. I didn't have to go look 3, 4 different places. And then over here on the side, I have the cube UI. Now, is there anyone here from Armory? No one? So I want to ask them to do some work. So it would be really awesome, since they did a Datadog integration, if in that 10 seconds I knew that, and then I clicked on one of those pods, and it jumped me right on the Datadog so I can get all the stats and stuff in there, that would be super awesome. And I want Armory to do that because they had VC money, so they shouldn't have a problem doing that. But I'm suggesting it's my software delivery control plane. And the only thing I'm missing is the jump right into seeing what's going on. So if I'm a developer and I have ability to go right into the log solution because I'm a Datadog fan. They have logging now. They have an APM with the watchdog thing, all that awesomeness. That, oh, I know where something went. It went into an apps cluster on GKE in Iowa. That's a whole naming standard exercise because you can have multiple clusters, for example. We'll see that. I know that it's up. Someone's still complaining about something. I can go right at the Datadog. All right. So developer experience, handled. SRE experience, handled. Now with that, for those who've been like an op, I've been a dev, a sec, and an op. I've had the experience of having 3 New Relic tabs and a Sumo tab up, and an Amazon tab up, and an Azure tab up. Like, why? If I had a software delivery control plane, I could see all that in 2 tabs, which means that stress there of managing that experience across those different views goes away, which means there's less tedium and quicker resolution. One of my first jobs, I was at the Air Force, I played around with blowing things up. Some people's first job in software was, oh, I worked on this game on a website. We do. I was in Precision Strike Expo doing what? Blowing things up. I watched many small dammer bomb prototypes go on the ground and not blow up. But there's a thing there called task saturation that all pilots have. They have multiple different things they're trying to accomplish. And that's why it is actually a trade secret why the Raptor, F-22, F-35, and a European fighter are all single man. Because there's like 2 decades of research of how do I have the pilot not think about flying and think about kill, kill, kill the enemy. So the same thing here. If I have that software delivery control plane and see her about custom link, I have collapsed all the tedium of trying to see what would happen in my enterprise, in my solution deployed across multiple clusters, which means I don't have I think they call it hot helmet, but that saturation overload, which means when something goes wrong, I immediately know in 10, 20 seconds where it is and how to deal with it. And I couldn't find a Spinnaker. This company doesn't make Spinnakers to pull container ships, so that's as close as I can get. So, yeah. And finally, why Spinnaker? Developer enablement, because we want to be able to do all the things about all the support tickets. Because right there in Spinnaker, which I'll show later, if you know nothing about Kubernetes, but you can build a Docker file, you can deploy something to Kubernetes without asking someone to do something. We'll get to that. Because you really want, as I mentioned earlier in the hurdle, to be cloud capable, do all the great things, the best packaging, and of course, you want to do some container analysis too. We'll talk about that and show that. You want to be repeatable and duplicable every day, all day. Which, I did this right. Oh yeah, Spinnakers, see if it's hard to deploy, okay. I hear that a lot, but if you do it enough times, it's not. So that's sort of the, what are you talking about? It's easy. It's like, oh, well, yeah, I guess. It did take me a little while to get it going, okay. But part of the stuff we wanted to enable immediate value delivery for your enterprise, for you. Like, if you ask me to use Spinnaker now, I just, by default, I have Kubernetes, I deploy Spinnaker to that, and do I need to go do and tear it all down? That's what I want to get to. Let's talk about this thing. It's an open source project. It's basically the result of making Spinnaker easy to deploy, right? It's so easy. Oh, wait a minute, no, it's not. So let's go package up something that makes it seem so easy to do. All right. So what is it? It's about disposable continuous delivery environments. If anything's actually easy to do and useful, it should be to throw it away. It's like when something breaks, you just go to Amazon and buy a new one because you don't care, right? It's kind of sad. That's why there's a big plastic island in the Pacific. But it's about creating disposable continuous delivery environments in under 30 minutes. No, I didn't say create a ticket. Go ask somebody. We're talking about getting Spinnaker on Kubernetes in the cloud in 30 minutes. And these are some of the pieces. We'll see this. We'll see this. Now, what is Capstan? It demonstrates several things. It's sort of the outcropping of problems that, as consultants, that we deal with, the enterprise is dealing with. How can we package it up? So what does infrastructure of code could look like in this context? Well, we're going to use Terraform because it's YAML all the time. And then we're sort of indirectly talking about mutable infrastructure. So if you, as an enterprise, want to have eyeballs into something that looks like that, that's an example of that. We explicitly show tool configurations. So there's some unimpressive, like bash in some places that completely show you what's going on. And it's focused mainly on containers. Like, it's not going to help you build VM instances in Google or on Amazon. It's really focused on using containers. Now, what does it do? Or how is it actually used for those who use it? Developer acceleration. Like I mentioned earlier, one of my hurdles to doing all the right things is using containers in the cloud, but my developers and Node.js guys is like, they don't have to worry about that. Oh, does this sound good? Or okay, yeah. Sorry about that. All right, they don't no longer have to worry about that. We'll see that, and if the internet's good, I'll demonstrate just taking an app and put it in behind a load balancer and column a day in about 4 minutes. If you can do a Docker build, you should be able to push it app in Kubernetes. Like, you can do Docker build, app in Kubernetes, no figuring out Kubernetes or Spinnaker and all that good stuff, getting it all together, should be able to do that. Developer sandbox. So for example, that picture was actually working on using Istio. I need a place to play with Istio, but I don't want to have to go like have an app develop, use Istio. I don't have to care about doing kubectl YAML files all day. I just want to point and click because I'm lazy and like pictures. So another example would be, let's say you are receiving sales data all day. You have a lot of retailers who receive the sales daily, week-to-week data, trying to figure out what to do to week-to-week data. They have someone using Kubeflow. They have someone that make a user experience. Then they put that together somewhere. That's something you can go do now. So we have that sales data comes in weekly. Someone can make a user experience that goes trigger some ML action in Kubeflow as an example, as an experiment. Because developer acceleration want to enable the creative process. Cursor illustrates bootstrapping. I go from nothing to cluster plus repository created plus being able to push an app out. So how could I do this myself? So if you look at that Capstan, you play with it and go, oh, well, this is generic, but I'll change this step. I'll change this step, and then mold it to an enterprise. The idea is, in 30 minutes, you have a function CD environment on Kubernetes. How do I dissect that to make it match my enterprise? And of course, ops training, like I'll be doing this after this talk. The environment I'm going to show you has a certificate that's going to expire soon. So I'm going to do the experiment of, oh, well, I need to update the cluster. I need to update Spinnaker. I have this vanilla environment I created in 30 minutes. Let me update it. Oh, I messed up. Well, let me burn it all down, start over. I can do like 4 or 5 experiments in one day, right? Instead of a super expensive, I asked 5 people to build me an environment and they go do an upgrade test. I create it in 30 minutes. Oh, that didn't work. Blow it away. Do it again. So the one that's out now is GCP. So YAML all the time, we use Terraform. So from your box, all you need really is Git, Terraform, and gcloud. And then you do apply. And it'll create all the pieces itself. And then it'll give you a tools VM. And then sure to, on the side, show you Ansible. About using Ansible is Bashery. How to deploy Jenkins using Helm. So you'll see stuff in places to where I could do all these Helm charts now, but we'll just do Jenkins. And then you'll see it deploy Spinnaker using Halyard. How does it work? Google Cloud, trial account, get your $300 for free. And then there's some steps you follow. It's all in the README. We actually validate your GCP account, show you the procedure to check. Is your account going to be useful? And of course, someone could probably automate that too. And why I say under 30 minutes? If you're doing the vanilla version without DNS, TLS, or OAuth2 setup, we're talking 16 minutes, 14 minutes, 13 minutes. If Spin Orca Bootstrap's taking forever, 20 minutes. So it's actually less than 30 minutes. So I want everyone to stop for a moment and say, I get to have a containerized CD environment in 60 minutes. All right, so the fun part. What we're going to demo here, we're going to show you the delivery environment. Some pipelines. But actually, believe it or not, we're working on getting you pipelines out the door also. So that's actually coming. So not only do you have an environment up with CI/CD and Kubernetes, actual pipelines created. I'm actually going to show you a pre-release branch that we're doing testing on that actually has the Canary stuff in it. Ooh. You're going to hear talks later about Canary. You'll actually get to see a pipeline with Canary configured with an app you can play with. And directions to say, go this line as app. Create a big array of big decimal, just to like consume a whole bunch of RAM. All right, and then we'll come back to the enterprise because we started talking about the enterprise problems, and then we're going to talk about after this experience of creating environments cheaply and quickly, being able to do a couple things for an enterprise. Now, going back to the enterprise, if I made, what's your name? What's your name?
Greg.
Greg made it cheap to make environments. Now, put yourself in the enterprise. You have these sprawling global businesses. They sell shirts and sneakers and electronics. Well, what's also going on is people trying to figure out how to orchestrate their enterprise at the macro level. I actually do not like ITSM, but I love ServiceNow. So if I could make environment creation cheap, I could prototype build out an environment builder, and then when a developer wants an environment, oh yeah, they go into ServiceNow, ask for an environment, maybe you make it elaborate and say, pull this stack of apps, then ask this environment builder, create that environment, and go push out pipelines that deploy those apps. And then since I connected it with the greater enterprise for resource management, I can say, oh yeah, by the way, after 2 weeks, ServiceNow, go blow that away, because that's burning up $1,000 a day. So if I made environment creation cheap, oh, I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Greg.
Greg, and what's your name again?
Alita.
Alita. She works at AWS. I've been harassing her. Alita can make environment creation cheap. That means your developer's not obstructed. Because early on, I mentioned part of why Spinnaker is awesome, because you'll be able to enable developers to do things. You'll be able, your enterprise to go do things. So you can show your, well, I guess you could show your slide to your enterprise. Oh yeah, we're going to do this orchestration thing for enterprise, and then we're going to enable developers at the same time. And ServiceNow will like you because they'll charge like $7 million. But the most important thing here is I can orchestrate the building of environments for my developers. So like they can go to lunch or come back or do something like that. And then site notification. Also for the enterprise, provision everywhere. You probably hinted, had a previous life of doing stuff for stores. I cubed all the things, and I have this app that says look up customer info. And then locally, each store, it knows who comes to the store often, so it knows all the people come to the store, so it caches the people at that store all the time, right? But it's the same app, 3 different places. It's the same lookup app running in the web store, front in the cloud. It's the same app sitting on top of SAP Business Warehouse inside the enterprise, because they pay lots of money for that, so it's not going away. And then at all the stores. And then even at this store, the gas station, if they're not Windows CE Diebold gas pumps that drift from time and credit card transactions fail across America. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I gave too much away, sorry. Maybe you're finally replacing those with more IoT-like gas pumps. Now they don't do the transaction at the pump anymore. Sometimes it's in the store, or it's a mobile-to-mobile gateway that goes somewhere. That still needs to be provisioned. If you think about that as a gas station as devices, and maybe that mobile gateway, it's also like a Tesla of all those sensors rolling around. It's also like an oil rig. It's like a McDonald's. So here, for Spinnaker, if I have that one app, customer lookup app, I can see in seconds, remember earlier, I knew in seconds how something was going. I can see what version was pushed out everywhere. And then if I'm really, really sexy, really, really smart, I can canary to a store. I can have a store that needs to get an update. I can canary release it to that one store. So I have a prod pre-store canary push to that one store or someone's Tesla in the middle of the day while they're driving. Screen goes blank, 6 miles per hour. I can do it to that one store. Oh, that passed. Now push it to all stores. Push the stores in Spain and South Korea and United Kingdom, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Canada, and call it a day. And then no one's complaining. This is very important, for example, if you care about CVEs, for example. I have some app that was built, maybe, because each store has to be functional. I'm maybe processing transactions in that store. There's a flaw in some package. I need to be able to push it out everywhere. I want to canary that to make sure I didn't cripple that store. Okay, that CV's now out. Now roll it worldwide. So for the enterprise, with that single software delivery control plane, notice I'm not talking about doing builds and stuff like everybody else is going to talk about. For a single software delivery control plane, plus that, what the link? What's that?
Custom links.
What's your name?
Emily.
Emily and her custom links. You'll be able to see what happened. Because you could actually that could actually, you can have, the daemon set for a Datadog deployed everywhere also. So you have that one monitoring logging tier also with the custom link, courtesy Emily. Now for sort of finishing up here, I'm almost done. It is open source. So this is me finally ranting, because I've been saying it around the office, that, you know what, this should be Ansible playbooks, because that's a totally legitimate thing to do. Guess what? That's left there as the exercise for the student. I am not going to do that. It's working now. And me and Nando, developer I work with at Kenzan, we keep going back up, no, we should change the playbooks, change the playbooks, change the playbooks. Well, as you see here in the text, it's done in Bash for accessibility so people can go do it. But really, to professionalize it for your enterprise, you will revisit it and go, because it's YAML all the time, maybe it should be Ansible playbooks. So, oh, yeah, I talked about this is coming next. This is actually an old version of the README. Blaming her about EKS. You'll be able to have an example of actual canary pipelines, actually several pipelines. So sort of walk through of, here's an initial one, here's one that uses triggers, and then here's the one that does the canary. And then the README, seriously, it says, in this app we're using, go make this ginormous array so it consumes a whole bunch of RAM. So it will fail a canary. And that's about it. Thank you. Hope I didn't speak too fast, too slow, mumbly.